It's kind of interesting thinking about all those C300s that we got for the trip coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool that you have that whole thing that Canons do 29-59 in DSLRs, but those the C300s are technically camcorders. So as long as you have enough battery power and cards in there, it's just going to record.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're using next week when we go out to where we're going, which I'm sure I'll talk about in a couple minutes when we start the show, because I also have a PSA to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
A PSA.
A PSA?
A PSA. A personal service, as my dad would say, a pubic service announcement.
Ah. That's what they're called.
I guess.
That's what it stands for.
I guess.
After all these years, I finally get it.
That's what PSA stands for. Or professional sports grade. Oh, that's the professional sports grading. I don't know, the card grading people. Anyway,
it'll be nice to use the C300s though over like a DSLR for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you
for the run and gun situations that we're going to be doing out where we're going, it'll be a lot easier.
Well, and quality-wise, they're supposed to be better quality.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the C300s, Mark 1s is, not Mark 2s is.
Yeah, because the Mark 2 won't be out yet.
Let's get started.
Let's do it.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh my God.
It's Tone Loc.
Yeah, and I looked at that song after, and I do get it. I just didn't understand who sung it at first when you sang.
No, it's Tone Loc.
Yeah.
Did you know how he got a raspy voice before we get started?
No.
His mother used to give him bourbon when he was a little kid, and it burnt his vocal cords.
Well, that sucks.
Jared Poland, FroKnowsPhoto.com. Welcome to RAWtalk episode number 134. That's 134 episodes of, well, not all have been really good, but the new form of RAWtalk is at least almost 100 episodes new since you got here.
Yes.
Something along those lines.
It's been about that. I came on like 37, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So now it's time to do the show. Are you ready to go away?
I'm ready.
We're going to the Grand Canyon. At least that's the plan. As long as everything, knocks on woods, goes properly.
We've been planning this out for quite some time, so I think we have everything we need for out there.
Well, we have everything we need.
Yeah.
Now we just need the planes and everything else to.
It's more the weather that I'm worried about when we get there. That's the only thing we can't control. Yeah.
I think the weather has shaped up. It was freaking cold there in Flagstaff, and now it's going to be not as cold.
Freaking hot.
Yeah, which isn't bad. So the PSA that I have for you guys is that next week's episode is going to be delayed.
Yeah.
Delayed. But no, it has to be because we still want to bring you the show. We're going to be filming it, but with the travel schedule and what we're doing, it's not going to get edited on the road. It just doesn't work that way. So it may be a day or two late. So you're just going to have to survive listening to old episodes. If you haven't listened to old episodes, please go subscribe on iTunes or anything, or soon to be Spotify.
I saw
I got to
that,
figure
yeah.
that out. I'm like, it's not even out yet.
I don't know if it's only their content or if it's just anyone can put their podcast up
I
there.
think it's going to be anyone. They asked to launch with certain people, but I'm definitely going to get my feed out there into Spotify.
Because I'm on Spotify 24/7.
Right. So Spotify is taking swipes at like iTunes and all these other people, Tidal and all that, and YouTube, because they're going to be putting videos up there. Why not?
Yeah.
Become the one service.
All-in-one media hub, pretty much.
Because YouTube isn't going to be a streaming audio service. They may have tried to do it.
They tried to, but I don't know how many people
worked.
actually caught on with that.
Anyway, that's the PSA, is that next week, the show is going to be slightly late by a day or two.
Probably just a day.
Well, it depends on how quickly you edit and we put it out there into the world. But it should be a pretty cool area and scene.
Yeah, it'd be very cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Very cool.
Very
backdrop.
cool. All right, Pluggy McPluggerson time. This week we're talking about the Hoya HD2 filters. These are they call it the world's hardest.
Oh,
yeah. So these are definitely used. Hey, give me some
in the porn industry?
Give me some porn music right now.
God.
That's right. These HD2 filters are approved by the porn industry because they're extra hard and they stay longer and stronger for longer. And harder. Anyway, why don't I read the points about them?
Let's do that.
So right here, I've got the reason I have these is we're taking these out to the Grand Canyon.
Yes.
I've got the circular polarizer 77, which I will use on my lenses.
Definitely need
and I
it.
also have the UV, deciding if there's a lot of dust and crap flying around and stones being thrown, then this gets chipped, and my front element doesn't get chipped. You know, I tempt fate all the time. I don't really use them very often. But in certain situations, like if you're shooting, what helps with these being super hard is if you're shooting, say, bikes, and they're turning up dirt and stones and stuff's hitting your lenses, this is going to help that. But also it's optical glass, so you're going to see no difference between the clarity with it and without it. It's something like 99.333%.
That's the thing.
Clear.
It's a big difference between crappy, cheap UV filters versus very nice, professional.
Well,
kind.
and that's a good point because you can buy the piece of crap ones.
That's what I did when I first started.
And you hold it up and you're like, wait a second.
Canon's like $10 UV filter, and I didn't realize how bad it was until I ended up buying another filter, and I was like, oh my God, the difference is just insane. One you can barely see through, one's crystal clear, looks like there's not even glass there.
Do you know how many times stronger than normal optical glass this is?
10 times more sensitive?
No, it's 4 times more stronger.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? It's like on Viagra. It's like if it took 4 Viagra of those little blue pills, it got it extra hard.
Can you keep it on for more than 4 hours?
I don't. Well, yes, because if this stays hard for more than 4 hours. So what I want you to do, guys, is I want you to associate Hoya extra hard filters, the HD2s, with whenever you watch porn, you're going to think of 4 times harder filters. That's what these are. So you got 16 layers, 8 on each side, HD multi-coating system to reduce reflection that is also scratch and stain resistant.
Ooh,
perfect for that industry, as well as being water repellent. So if you're using water-based lube, you have no problem. It will repel it, which isn't good. But anyway, right now at your authorized Hoya dealers, you can get up to $50 off instant rebates.
Oh, nice.
On filters. Now, the 77, I believe, was like $40. The one that's $50 is an 82 millimeter. So if you go to Allen's Camera, they are an authorized Hoya dealer. You can get instant rebates from there, and also on the large resellers online. You can find it because I went and looked. Anywhere up to $50 off a filter, especially the Pro line filters. Also, what's it say on the back of these? These are extra thin. Yeah, the HD frame, wide angle lens compatible ultra. Yeah, that's important because some of the older filters before digital, they weren't wide, they weren't thin enough, so it was showing up on the corner and the edges of the frame. These won't do it. So that is all I have to say about that. Hoya HD2 filters, UVs, now with 4-time hardness.
Ooh.
For those who need it.
Oh, God.
What? I love doing that. And thank you for the background music, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome.
From Audio Blocks. Is it time for photo news? Hey, Sutter. Sorry.
I'm ready if you're ready.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Hanging in there.
I know you look. You're letting your hair grow, bro.
Finally. I trimmed my mustache, though, so it doesn't hang over my lip anymore.
So the food doesn't get stuck in there anymore?
Yeah, oh, man.
He was tasting last week's burger.
I don't have that problem. This is about all I
My
get.
mustache, for anyone out there, was like way beyond my lower lip. It was super big, and I would like pull it to the side, so I had this big cowboy mustache.
So basically, it said "Enter here."
Not really, but now it's not so big.
So how's your trip preparation going?
It's getting there. I'm still just trying to get in contact with as many people that want to collaborate with me as possible.
It's the hardest part.
But, I'm going no matter what, so I can get as many no's, but it's not going to, end the trip by any means. So it just, whatever companies want to jump on board, they want to jump on board. And if they don't, they don't. So that's just kind of what I'm dealing with right now. But the basic itinerary is laid out, where I'm going to be and when. And, so it's getting there.
Awesome, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, you
sharing.
asked.
I know I did ask. I know, and then it was like blah 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 blah. Wah, wah, wah. All I heard
He was in depth. He
I know.
was describing it.
But all I heard was like from Peanuts. Nothing against you.
I'd
all
rather
I heard
not
was
just hear, oh, it's going good.
wah 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 wah. Charlie Brown.
Yep.
It's time to get into photo news, and we need to pick some music.
Yes,
Today
we
is
do.
a dreary day.
Yeah, here in Philly it is.
Should we go with something subtle? Something...
Disappointing?
Yeah, let's go with disappointing music. Can we find some disappointing music on audioblocks.com?
Oh, I'm sure we can.
/go/fro? Are we
do
ready?
it. I'm ready.
Roll disappointing music.
I'm so sad.
And photo news.
We have a professional rugby player wrote on a $94,000 broadcast camera lens with a marker at a recent game. The player, Collins Injera, scored his 200th try, which is a touchdown.
It's not a touchdown. It's a try.
Kind of like a touchdown if you were to relate it to American football. In the World 7 Series, and in celebration ran over to the cameraman and
What
signed...
team does he play for?
I don't know. But he ran over to the cameraman and signed both a rugby ball for the fans and his camera lens. He must have planned this ahead of time, too, because he had the marker in his sock ready to go.
Yeah, but he's stealing that from what's-his-name, who did that many years ago.
Who?
The guy who played for the Eagles for a minute and for the Cowboys that he did that. The wide receiver. What was his name?
Terrell Owens?
Terrell Owens.
But I guarantee, there had to be some kind of filter on that broadcast lens, but I'm not definitely sure.
But they said it ruined it.
Yeah, but they don't know for sure. They're just assuming that they ruined it.
See, they do that in tennis all the time. If you ever watch tennis, the tennis players will
They sign
the
lenses?
lenses.
Really?
Yeah, but they put
A filter.
Piece of film
just give it away?
on the outside of it. No, just so that it looks like they're doing it.
Gotcha.
But if they had this, the Hoya EVO or extra virgin olive oil filter, so when you think of Rachel Ray, you think of the Hoya EVO. This is the Evolution Filter Anti-Static. It says water and stain-resistant super multi-coating, and it says if you use a Sharpie on it, I haven't actually tried this, but if you do use a Sharpie on it, let me find the front element.
So if you were this guy and you were like, hey, let me sign my name.
It's not supposed to...
It doesn't even sign.
Look at that. And then it should... It's beating off.
So it is completely resistant to pretty much anything
So it
signing
should just wipe right off.
So the guy couldn't even have signed it. So they definitely didn't have that filter on there.
By the way, when you're using a thing to clean your filter, you probably don't want to use the
rough
Bounty
paper towel.
But look at this. Do you see any Sharpie left on that?
I see no Sharpie left on that.
That's crazy because it didn't even attach to it.
Yeah, not at all. Wow. There's a lot of crap left over from the Bounty.
There's the Sharpie. It's on the Bounty.
Oh yeah, it is a little bit on there. Wow.
But that's that. So yeah, if you think that anybody's ever going to draw Sharpie on your lens, why don't you use the Evo Evolution anti-static filters? But that's pretty cool.
I wonder if they had any type of filter on there, or if it really was just straight. I assume they would have a polarizer or something, especially in the stadiums where it's like so dark, so bright, the sky's everywhere. I don't know.
But that is if it repels that, it's going to repel fingerprints and oils and stuff like that, and you simply just clean it, and damn, you've got a clean ass filter protecting your lens. But
if you guys do want to see it for yourselves, there is video of the whole thing caught on camera. Obviously, it's over on the website, which is
I don't know. Fronosphoto.com/rawtalk-134.
Apple unveiled an upgrade to their 15-inch MacBook Pro. The laptop will now have Apple's new Force Touch trackpad, enhanced graphics for its Retina display, another hour of battery life, and flash storage that's nearly 3 times faster. The new MacBook Pro is now available starting at $2,000. They also dropped the price for their entry-level 5K Retina iMac to $2,000 as well, which in turn dropped the maxed-out iMac price to $2,299 from $2,499. It's great for photographers and videographers out there, Finally wanted to upgrade.
Well, we need
a little cheaper for you.
Well, for the 5K, that's pretty insane. I still want to. I don't know how the Force Touch is going to work with our laptops.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting. Obviously, there's a reason they do it. We have Force Touch in our watches, but it's going to be interesting to see what it does in the lappy top.
Oh yeah. The other big company in the industry, Microsoft, has released their own hyperlapse software for stable video called Microsoft Hyperlapse. How original.
No, is it really called Microsoft Hyperlapse?
It's called Microsoft Hyperlapse.
Oh, well, why don't we come up with something original here in Redmond, Washington? So we're sitting here in the board meeting. Guys, we got this software. We got this software. It's new. It's never been done before. It's like stabilizes your video. I'm thinking it's like hyperlapse.
It's kind of like a time lapse, but it's moving video.
I got it. The hula hoop. Hudsucker Proxy.
What?
You've never seen the Hudsucker Proxy?
No, what's that?
One of the coolest movies ever.
I've never seen it.
I got it. The hula hoop. Dude, you got to watch that movie.
Every movie
Tim Robbins.
You bring up, I got to watch.
Watch this movie.
And every movie I bring up, you're like, what? I don't know it. Who cares?
Who cares? Has anybody seen the Hudsucker Proxy? Fight, go!
Older movie or newer?
It's a little older.
Yeah.
It's a Tim Robbins movie. It's really good.
Cool. Here's how it works. You record video and import it into their hyperlapse program. Now, Microsoft's special algorithm will help stabilize your footage, ignore the long, boring parts, and export a smooth, edited hyperlapse. Now, one of the group's researchers, Neil Joshi, says rather than stitching together various pieces of frames, he created technology that looks for entire frames that have the most overlap with each other.
Good
Instead
for
of
you.
just arbitrarily choosing every 10th frame, for example, the system might pick out the 1st, 12th, 18th, and 29th frame, end quote. Users can specify a speed of 1 times up to 32 times, and the exported video can be various resolutions and frame rates. Now, the software is available for Android and Windows phones, along with
Wait, what's a
desktop
Windows phone?
users. I knew you were going to ask that. So there is a desktop version and an actual mobile app version. So Android finally has a hyperlapse solution, because I know Instagram's hyperlapse, I don't believe, is available, right, Sutter?
No.
I can't believe it's still not available.
I just don't think it works
If it's
for
possible.
Android. I think the algorithms are completely different.
Do you wanna know
between
something?
each
Actually, let me just
platform.
get on this real quick. Speaking of the algorithm, it's kind of a knock-up of hyperlapse, but Instagram's hyperlapse uses hardware, accelerometers, gyroscopes to smooth out videos, where Microsoft uses software. Microsoft's version can be used on videos already taken, while Instagram's has to record the hyperlapse video internally. So I guess that's the main difference right there.
Do you-
What do I want to know?
Well, you. So last week you had that story you didn't want to tell me about until we actually did it.
Oh, yeah.
About the
I'm sure we lost another 10% of our 1% female
I don't think
listeners.
so. I don't think so. But if you didn't hear episode 133, we talked about the menstrual cup. My favorite comment of the week was that we quote
should
unquote.
do that. We should do comment of the week every week, like a recap.
Oh, well, we should probably read the angry comments.
That would be great.
But my favorite comment was that I menstrual shamed the woman.
Menstrual shamed.
Who knew that menstrual shaming was a thing?
Huh.
I'm not
Interesting.
menstrual shaming. But what is menstrual shaming? She had it was gross, in my opinion, and many other people's opinions,
Oh,
including women.
It's all personal opinion.
It is all personal opinion, but menstrual shaming, it's just like every time you speak out against something that you don't agree with, you're going to call it shaming of some sort.
Pretty much.
Some other people were like defending the menstrual shame. I'm not menstrual shaming. I am saying I don't agree with what I think the photos are garbage and gross and sickening to me. And maybe somebody else has a different opinion. But somebody brought up like, well, what if a guy used his ejaculate to do the same thing? You know, would you be, and you know, I actually wanted to respond. I think I tweeted this. Favorite comment of the week, that I menstrual shamed that woman. What if I walked down the street with a boner and somebody said something? Would that be boner shaming? It's happened
Oh, God.
because I got tight jeans.
Very tight jeans. A photographer named Jordan Lylde traveled all around New York City to reshoot some scenes of some of the oldest surviving photographs of the iconic city. He started off by researching George Bradford Brainerd's work, a 19th century photographer who shot 2,500 photos of New York in the form of glass plate negatives before he died in 1887. He decided he wanted to reshoot the same scenes to showcase how New York has changed over the past 140 years. His main goal was to help spread the word about Brainerd's mostly forgotten accomplishments. He says, after seeing several articles around the web showing New York photographers comparing the 1960s to 2013, I asked myself, instead of going back 50 years, what if we could compare today to the earliest surviving photos?
No, let's go back 50 years.
He ended up completing the recreation of 28 of his photos, posting side-by-side before and after images that have the exact same composition as the originals. Now he did an entire behind-the-scenes project on the project too, posting a 6-minute short film, which is pretty much like a slideshow of some of his images, and he did a 31-minute behind-the-scenes video basically explaining how he did the entire thing.
So what'd you think?
I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was really cool. The composition is spot on. Like, he really makes it perfect, even with where it's changed so much. You know, new buildings have come and gone or whatever. He still has it like perfect, lined up.
Do you know that? You know what that reminds me of?
What?
The Time Machine,
The Time Machine.
the book Time Machine.
Okay.
And the movie Time Machine, the original one, not the remake.
I've seen so many Time Machine movies. I can't remember which one is the Time Machine.
The original one.
I can't remember.
It's so good.
Who's in it?
I don't know who the people are in it, but it starts off. It's old.
I've seen so many different
I
ones.
saw a
Like,
hot tub time machine. That was pretty cool.
there's one right there.
No, The Time Machine.
I know.
You know, where the guy goes into the future and he goes into the past.
It's
and
not
all
the
this
time
stuff.
traveler's wife. It's not the.
No, it's Time Machine.
They're
the
not in a
book.
hot tub, right?
There's no Chernobyl.
It's not Back to the Future, is it?
Anyway,
No, I'm pretty sure
the
I've seen that
original
one.
movie
Is that where he sits in like a big ball?
Yeah,
and
and he
hits
pulls
it?
the
Yeah, I've
thing,
seen it.
and he goes in. And but I love when the cities are evolving and
Yeah.
changing and breaking down, and then war comes and war goes.
And then they live underground, right? At one point.
I don't remember
thinking
that
of that
I
part.
thought they lived in the hot tub.
All right, shut up, Sutter. Your hot tub comments.
Speaking of hot tub, did you see Hot Tub Time Machine 2?
I have
We
not.
watched it on the airplane.
Well, I'm asking Sutter mainly.
No, I haven't.
It's
horrible.
pretty bad, yeah.
We knew it was going to be horrible.
But I mean, the first one was
Amazing.
it's like stupid funny.
But it had a storyline.
It did.
The second one, you want to call that a storyline? You can call it a storyline, but let's move so you don't yell at me for.
It was still funny as hell, I will say that.
It wasn't funny as hell.
To me, it was.
It shouldn't have been, and I sat
laughed.
next to you. There were some things to laugh at, but it wasn't like the first movie, which was just, I think, a classic, funny movie.
But yeah, again, you guys can check out all that stuff over on the website. Moving forward, a fan of Italy's top bike race, the Giro d'Italia. Gyro?
Probably gyro.
Which is the Tour of Italy. It caused a big crash this past week after letting his DSLR camera and lens hang too far past the barrier. Now, Italian biker Daniel Colli, I'm not sure which one that is, rode into the telephoto lens, falling off his bike and causing a chain reaction of bike crashes. Now, Colli ended up suffering a broken arm, which is actually in the video, and it's really nasty looking. And race leader Alberto Contador was left with a dislocated shoulder. Now, there's television replays, like I just talked about, that caught the moment of impact, showing the fan's lens hitting the biker as he goes by. Now, Colli later tweeted that the person who caused the crash should apologize to everyone for what happened.
Apologize.
But I will say that people were using like their phones, they were clapping, they were taking pictures on just regular point and shoot cameras, and they were way farther past the barrier than this guy with his DSLR was.
So was he shooting with this lens?
He was shooting with it looked like a 70-200 Canon, and he was probably only like 3 inches off, but his lens hood hit the guy's helmet, which then threw him off the bike and tumbled. And
I didn't
broke his
watch
arm.
it, but I think I've seen a clip or just a grab from it, but it's a lot of bikers going through at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to squeeze through. It's insane that they're able to even bike in that type of thing.
I'm shocked that not more than it looks like from the video, only like 2 or 3 people fell, the chain reaction of all the bike crashes. But how did like not more than that happen? Because they were right next to each other.
I don't get it.
Yeah. But I really don't think the guy was that far past the barrier.
Yeah. He
To get
shouldn't
shamed like this.
apologize. Stop trying to slut shame him, all right? It's not his fault that he had Daniel fall off a bike. Daniel shouldn't have been riding that close to the barricade.
Temba has released a new line of collapsible camera bags. The new Temba Packlight bags are being called the world's first completely collapsible self-stowing camera bag.
Which is a great idea.
It is. Now, the main idea behind the Packlight is that photographers often take a ton of gear with them when they
That is
travel.
correct.
That is very true. But after arriving at their destination, they need a smaller bag to carry around, just a camera with a couple of lenses. Another correct statement. Now, when collapsed, the bag virtually takes up no space and has no weight, but it can be expanded into a full bag in just a second. Now, the bag itself takes up no room, but to make it a complete bag, it does need to be paired with the Temba BYOB inserts.
BYOB inserts.
Or BYOB.
No, it's BYOB.
I know.
Bring your own beer.
The bag features a quick access top zipper and a side mesh pocket for carrying accessories.
Quick access top zipper.
Now, the Packlight comes in 4 different variations. The smallest can carry a mirrorless camera kit, and the largest can carry a Pro DSLR body with a 70-200 f2.8 lens. Price-wise, the bags will go from $20 for the smallest bag and $29 for the largest, so it's not much of a difference right there. But the inserts range from $30 to $60.
Insert it in my top zipper, please.
But there's a full product video up on the website.
Is Peter in it?
Peter's in it. He's the one.
I fully respect Peter 128,000%.
Peter's a great guy, yeah.
He's the founder and owner and CEO of Temba, and he's in the videos.
Is he the founder? I didn't realize
I think
that.
he's the founder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's Temba.
If you guys are wondering who he is, too, we met with him at Photokina first, and we did a whole run through the Temba booth.
Because he's knowledgeable and entertaining on the camera.
He's funny. He's a funny guy.
And that's why he's good in the videos.
And he was also in the NAB recap. Quickly,
right.
When we were at the Benro.
Here's a guy for a guy for a guy.
But like I said, with you having to get also the BYOB inserts, it's almost like you're bringing a bag. You know, you're still packing technically a bag. So, but it is still a pretty cool idea. Nikon has created a dog camera mount that is triggered by heart rate. The company created the camera mount for their new heartography project. Now, the mount uses a built-in heart rate monitor to take photos of things that excite the dog.
Oh, Jesus. Squirrel! No. Hey, look, it's a female dog.
Or that.
My heart's beating.
A treat. Let me get a treat. Now, here's how it works. The mount system features two sides, the heart rate collar and the special camera case. Now, the collar is worn around the dog's neck, which monitors its heart rate and constantly sends the number to the camera case wirelessly via Bluetooth. Now, the camera case then displays the current heart rate on an OLED display.
Just in case a dog needs to know.
Buttons next to the display will let you choose the baseline heart rate that triggers photos. So whenever the heart rate hits its target baseline, a picture will be taken. Now, Nikon tested the device on a dog named Grizzler, who they're calling a photographer. The resulting pictures.
I want to say so much right now.
But, I mean, the pictures they have posted are basically pictures of, like, people's feet, other dogs, treats, his food, anything that excites him.
Woo! Squirrel!
No word on whether they plan on making this device available to the public, though.
Yeah, because you know what I'm going to do with it.
Now, I will say one of the commenters on Petapixel made a pretty good point. They brought up that this would be good use for, like, a guard dog.
Yeah, no, this is a terrible idea. Thank you.
You're welcome. Moving forward, this is pretty neat. A recent eBay auction featured a vintage barbecue grill that was made to look like a roll of Kodak film. As far as its origin, according to the seller, the grill was a sampler promotional product created by a company called Echo Manufacturing Company. The grill is super small, measuring just 16 inches tall, and the round end is just 9 inches wide, so it's very tiny. It'd be a nice portable camping grill, though, I will say. The grill was sold by the eBay store Ed's Vinyl Store Collectibles for $150, which is pretty pricey.
You know, eBay is a fickle thing right now.
Is it?
Well, do people actually... do they even do auctions anymore? Or is it just a store?
I used to buy everything off eBay when I was in, like, late high school.
So basically
now I buy nothing.
It's Amazon. Basically, it's become Amazon.
But it's a flaky Amazon.
Right, but you don't do auctions. Gary Vee was talking about this in one of his Ask Gary Vee shows. He's like, I'm just waiting for somebody to come along and be eBay. Like, reinvent eBay. Like, come on with, there's no buying now. It's an auction site. You buy, you have to win the auction. That's how it was, done. Because I loved doing that when I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, I always did eBay all the time, but now I'm just like, I don't know if it's going to be, who's calling?
Heidi.
Shipping problems.
Should I see what the shipping problem is?
Sure.
Excuse me, this is shipping problems. Hopefully not.
We'll be right back.
Hello, this is Jared. We're recording a show. Is there an issue? Okay, had to take care of something in the shipping department. We are ready to get back to photo news.
Yes. Let's see. So we just talked about the vintage barbecue grill that looked like the Kodak film.
Yes, you did.
Family photographers Lily and Leon Mackey recreated iconic movies and TV show scenes with common things found at home. The photos aren't manipulated really at all either, minus your basic adjustment tweaks in Photoshop and Lightroom like brightness and contrast. Most of the heavy lifting is done with their creative use of set design, camera angles, lighting. The couple says, normally the sets take about 2 to 3 hours to build, but some have taken twice that. We usually start them in the late afternoon and evening and take the photo at night when we have the most control over the lighting. They go on to talk about costs, and they say the budget is not a lot, as we often reuse the same materials, furniture, and objects. Our only big purchases would be costumes, but even when they are usually purchased from thrift stores. A photo very rarely costs...
I got $20 in my pocket.
Well, there you go. They said a photo very rarely costs more than $30. So you can probably get away with $20.
I got $20 in my... How's the song go anymore?
Oh, God. I don't even remember. It's been a while.
I'm going to get some tags. Got $20 in my pocket. I'm going to get some text. Got $20 in my pocket.
The shots are pretty funny and super creative. Photos range from like Wayne's World recreations to Back to the Future to Free Willy to Napoleon Dynamite and so much more. They did a ton of movies. They have also been nominated for a 2015 Webby Award too, under the category Things Organized Neatly. So feel free to vote for them. And you can find a link to all the images over on the website.
Yeah, it looks good.
It looks really good. Looks like they're having a lot of fun doing it too. Scientists have created a new method to make time lapses with ordinary images found on the web. Researchers at Google and the University of Washington have figured out how to search the internet for photographs of the same thing, aligning them and arranging them in chronological order to create crowdsourced mined time lapses like landmarks and cityscapes changing over time. Now, here's how they did it. They first gathered 86 million photos from online and organized them into landmarks and popular viewpoints. They then sorted them out by timestamp and warped the images to match their views of the subject. And finally, they stabilized a sequence of images. In the end, the scientists discovered 10,728 different time lapses showing how different landmarks on Earth have changed over the years. Now, there's some sample animated GIFs on the site that they produced, including the construction of a New York City building, a glacier melting in Norway, changing of the Vegas skyline, a ton more too. They say the scale and ubiquity of our mined time lapses creates a new paradigm for visualizing global changes. As more photos become available online, mined time lapses will visualize even longer time periods, showing more drastic changes.
Is it cool?
It's really cool. There's a link to their full published research paper too, which gets like super specific and all scientific if you want to know exactly how they pulled it off. It features like equations and various studies, all that. They also have a video explaining their process, which is posted on the website for you guys to check out too. Really cool, really scientific. 86 million photos that they gathered then to make 10,000 time lapses.
Nice.
It's pretty crazy. How do they have time for this kind of stuff? That's what I wonder.
Nerds.
Nerds. More researchers.
You know what that's from?
What?
Revenge of the Nerds?
Oh, that's classic. It's been a long time since I've seen that, though. And the Goonies. I haven't seen that forever either.
Hey, you guys!
Researchers says...
Hey, Sutter, do the truffle shuffle. Oh, he actually knows how to do the truffle shuffle.
Researchers say filtered photos are 21% more likely to be viewed online than their original unprocessed shot. Yahoo Labs...
Yeah, that's because unprocessed looks like ball sack.
But I think when they say unprocessed...
I know what they mean.
Yeah.
They
Not
mean ball
raw,
sack.
but just original JPEG.
Well, they mean straight out of the ball sack is what
Ball
they're talking
sack.
about.
Yahoo Labs did the study, which they wrote about in a new paper titled Why We Filter Our Photos and How It Impacts Engagement. They analyzed 7.6 million images on Flickr and found that filters boost engagement. In addition to being 21% more effective, filtered photos are 45% more likely to be commented on as well. Here's a tip. They say warmer filters that increase contrast and correct exposure boost engagement the most, while cooler filters are generally less engaging.
How about you just edit your photos and then you don't need to worry about putting a freaking filter on it, because then it's going to be really engaging when it stands out above the other crap that is sitting there on Flickr for people that just take shitty photos.
Now, they go on and say that casual shooters generally use filters that drastically transform their images with bold effects, while serious photographers use filters for mild corrections, adjustments, and effects.
You know what I use for mild erections? Hoya.
Hashtag no filter. But that's the end of that story.
Good. Get that story out of here.
Get out of here. A new PSA... Or what did you call it? What did you call it?
A pubic service announcement, as my dad would say.
So a new pubic service announcement regarding the dangers of using selfie sticks is now online, and it's actually from Pizza Hut, of all people. The parody video warns that egotastic specimens of visual self-obsession are in danger due to the use of selfie sticks. The PSA warns that by moving the camera away from the central subject of the selfie sticks create the illusion that other objects, places, and even people exist. The curiosity generated by the new point of view leads our self-focused friends out into a much wider world, and that leads to disaster.
And go buy some pizza from Pizza Hut.
Yeah, pretty much.
Have you eaten Pizza Hut in a while?
I have not, no.
It's been probably a decade since college.
I rarely get Pizza Hut, like maybe once every 3 years. I love their crust, though. It's
what
so
people
good.
don't realize is that when you live in the Northeast, if you don't live in the Northeast, our pizza options are quality pizza, not versus garbage pizza, but I will
A lot
say
of mom
that
and pop pizza shops.
right, that do good pizza. But
Oh, yeah.
I personal pan pizza when I could get a personal pan. Do you
like
remember?
$5.
Remember Book It?
Book It. Oh, the bookends, yeah, for the school, right? Isn't that what it was?
They weren't bookends. They gave you
It was like a
certificate program.
That's it,
Where
yeah.
if you read a certain amount of pages, they gave you a certificate
and
for
you
a
get
free
like
personal
a free
pizza.
pan pizza.
They
yeah.
did that when I was in elementary
Right.
too.
The problem is they used to do that for McDonald's too.
Did they?
But
I
all
only
they would
remember
do is
Pizza Hut.
proliferate the fattening of America by saying, if you read, we'll give you shit food. Because
Hey, I enjoyed
what
it.
Pizza Hut's good for? If you need to go.
Drunk food?
No, if you need to go to the bathroom, you need to evacuate.
Yeah.
You eat some Pizza Hut, and 20 minutes later, evacuation is going to happen.
Evacuation.
But I got to tell you, Pizza Hut, man, that personal pan pizza.
So good.
Olivia knew how to make it for me when we were in college.
Olivia?
Olivia, she was our waitress.
I figured.
She was awesome.
Yeah.
Olivia was awesome. She worked really hard. She worked multiple jobs, and she really cared about her job. She made the salad bar so awesome tasting.
How about the salad bar?
It
so
was
weird.
but it was
Here,
so tasty.
eat a bunch of pizza and here's salad.
Well, we used to do that. We used to go to the all-you-can-eat pizza.
The buffet, right?
Buffet, which got you the salad bar.
It was like lunchtime?
Well, I, on the other hand, could only eat one personal pizza and would eat like 4 salads. I'd go back 4 times and just keep eating salads. But what she would do is she knew that you put the pizza in once through the conveyor belt, and then she'd push it halfway back in so it got a little extra crispy around the edges.
the best.
She knew exactly how I liked it.
Oh, yeah.
Olivia loved me.
Where did I end with?
You ended with Pizza Hut.
Oh, leads to disaster. I know with that part, right?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
So they warn that selfie sticks are growing in size, doubling and tripling in length, which is very dangerous. They end with, if you know someone who is gracious enough to share themselves with the world wide web over and over and over again, share this video with them. After all, what would we do without your daily outfit updates, complete with duck-faced lips taking in your bathroom mirror? Pizza Hut is a supporter of those suffering from selfie stick abuse. Please selfie responsibly. But it is a funny video.
That's smart marketing. Why
Posted
not?
on the website, yeah. I enjoyed it, and they really didn't shove like Pizza Hut in your face. They weren't like, this is all Pizza Hut. There was a second where they were talking about like selfie sticks at parties, and they're like, well, the selfie sticks keep getting bigger, and also the pizza's getting bigger.
Oh, it's for their 2-foot
It's their
pizza that they're
2-foot pizza,
advertising.
yeah.
But that's so smart because you're talking about it. It's just when you do quality marketing that resonates with the current state of things.
Oh, yeah.
It's just smart. And you don't have to punch people in the face and say, this is brought to you by Pizza Hut, because it's a Pizza Hut video.
Yeah.
You'll associate the two. And now I want to eat Pizza Hut, but I don't really want to
I
eat
do
Pizza
too.
Hut. I just want to go back to college. Yeah, but then we'd go to Pizza Hut and then 20 minutes later be fighting over the bathroom.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Wedding photographer Nikki Mayday Guardasion. Probably pronouncing that
Nicki
wrong.
Minaj Scion?
Or Gardasion. She warns photographers.
Spell
It's Guardascione.
That's Gardacone. Knee.
Okay.
Enrico Ciccone.
She warns photographers to be careful when a big brand asks to use your image. She posted a photo of a bride surrounded by groomsmen pounding down Miller Lite beer cans on her Facebook page. Miller Lite came across the image and sent a message asking to share it. Now, the message implied that they would be sharing it on like their social media outlets in exchange for promotion, basically. She said she would allow it if they linked back to her social media accounts. She then asked for details, and like the follow-up message notified Nikki that it would be used in advertisements on TV commercials. Now, herself being a former photo editor for AOL and NBC News, she knows how it should work compensation-wise.
Bing, bing, bing.
Yep, she says she isn't happy with how they worded the initial request. She says Miller Lite is being very misleading in their pursuit to photographers to use their photographs for free in a major television ad campaign, not even for credit, but for pride. Moral of the story, though, I mean, you could be agreeing to a lot more than you think.
Yeah,
if you say yes.
I read this, and they show all of what occurred. They show you all the Facebook messages, and of course, somebody
And I do have
contacts
them
you,
too. I have the exact stuff, but
or somebody
it's a lot.
contacts you, and they're like, "Hey, can we use your photo? We love what you did. Can we use it for social?" And you're like, "Yeah, you can use it for social," but then it's like, well. It's very misleading. You have to ask questions, and you're not being a dick when you ask questions. You're not. You are protecting yourself, and if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And for them to come back and say, well, no, we want to use it for everything else, it'd be like, well, that's called advertising. You need to pay for it. But they get away with it today because people don't know any better, and if they're not a photographer and they took a cool photo of Michelob, Michelob Light? Miller Lite, then it's not the banquet beer? No, because I hear those commercials. Then people are all happy, like, yeah, look, they used my picture in advertising, because they're not really photographers. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, this is the actual Facebook messages in between. Miller Lite said, yes, we love your photo and we have a question for you. We're thinking of sharing it with the world, and with your permission, we can do just that. There wouldn't be any compensation, just pride and your work displayed to all of our fans.
You know what I could say
so
about
it just says
that?
your work displayed to all of our fans. That
but
social media.
Right.
And then they get back and she's like, well, what's the details? And they said, we wouldn't be sharing the content in that way, because she's like, just promote me.
Right.
It would be more so to celebrate summer and how people are enjoying theirs. This photo will be advertised on network television.
Yeah,
know.
And don't tell me if it's for the pride. Do you do your job for pride? No. You don't do it just for pride. You do it because you want to get paid.
She said no, and they're like, thanks for your time.
That's because it's some intern sitting there who they tell to go out and do this stuff and tell me it's for my pride. It's like telling me it's a portfolio builder. Mm-hmm. It's not for my pride or my portfolio.
Now, a very similar incident occurred with
this
a user
one's worse, I think.
on Instagram. It does sound worse. Photographer Tom German had a comment by Samsung UK on one of his photos taken with the Samsung Galaxy S3, which he hashtagged. That's, I guess, how they found it. They asked if they could use it to show what their products look like, and to reply, #yes to agree to their terms, and then they added a link. Now, here's where it gets fishy. The link to the terms says you're guaranteeing that you have rights to the photo and permission from all people seen in it, which is fine. If Samsung runs into any copyright or model release legal issue, though, you're agreeing to take the hit versus Samsung. And on top of that, you're giving Samsung permission to use the photo for free for any and every purpose. You may or may not be credited, and Samsung can even transform.
Or may not be credited. Oh, I mean, it could go either way.
Up in the air. If we feel like it, we'll do it. But if I'm a little hungover, I'm not going to do it.
For your pride.
But they also said that they can transform the image, which you don't have the right to give the final yes to, and they can transfer that license to anyone else if they want to.
So by hashtagging yes,
that's a lot to agree to with a simple yes.
You're agreeing to give away your stuff for nothing, for them to do whatever they want with.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So be careful with who you get as much information. See, you know what I find too when you talk to companies, or bands for that matter, they get all bent out of shape when you question them. They're like, well, nobody else has brought this up. I'm like, I'm not everybody else. All right, I need to protect myself. It seems like you don't have my best interest in the line here.
Yeah.
So I'm asking these questions, and then it just gets to the point where you do get trained to say no a lot, because a lot of things are not worth it. It's just you have to decide. This happens a lot in our industry.
I find it funny too that they're having this conversation on just a comment thread on Instagram,
right? Because you can't click the hash. You can't click the you have to go onto Instagram online to grab that URL to go do something with.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sutter,
I've got nothing to say.
I know you've been sitting there quiet the whole day.
Hello.
Next. That's it.
Thank God.
That's the end of photo news.
Good stories.
Good stories.
We're saving up some stories for next week too, because it's going to be a special edition of RAWtalk.
Well, and we won't be able to really research anything while we're out there for the few days before we do the podcast.
Well, just the day before. Or the night before.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to print out anything.
Well, yeah, you're at a hotel. We can print it.
I thought we're doing RAWtalk the third day we're there.
I have no idea what the schedule says.
I'm pretty sure the schedule says we're doing it the last day.
I think we moved it to the first day.
Oh, well.
Remember? Because the last day was meant to be
the pickup day.
The day where we do whatever we want.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. Hopefully it'll be pretty updated.
And hopefully it's going to be cool.
Oh, yeah. Always does. I mean, we do plenty of those traveling RAWtalks, and it always works out.
Well, this is different because we'll have a crowd of two.
We're outside, yeah.
Well, we're going to be outside, off the beaten path, 3 hours away from everybody.
Sweating my ass off. I can't wait.
Well, it depends. It said 70s and 80s. Yeah. No, one day said 90s. So it said 80s and 90s.
Well, when you guys are gone, it's going to be like 90s here. So
really?
You're actually getting away from the heat.
At least it's more dry air there, right?
We'll see what it looks like.
Definitely low humidity.
It should be fun. It's going to make for some cool content.
I bought some hiking boots. Well, shoes.
I'm going to wear my boots the whole time.
Are you?
Even with shorts.
Perfect.
I have to pack.
Yeah. Your packing involves a shirt.
Well, but it may be cold and
Yeah, it's
all
true.
that good stuff. Got to take some fresh wipes, you know. I want a pack of fresh wipes.
Fresh.
I want to feel fresh. All right, thank you for photo news. Photo news music exiting to let's do travel type.
Travel type. Okay.
Travel-y sounding music.
All right.
And go. And that travel sound music was brought to you by audioblocks.com/go/Faro. That's F-R-O. So it's time to get to flying solo this week. It seems like I'm starting to line up some guests, man.
Good.
For June, it seems
I hope
like...
they don't cancel.
All right, so I asked... I'm looking forward to having the guests come in or us go to them, as well as maybe Danny Clinch, because I put up his photo book today from my bookshelf, and he tweeted back, thank you, and I'm like... Been trying to get an interview with him for a long time.
Even if we have to go to him.
Well, we are going to go to him.
New York.
We're going to go to New York. We're going to go to his place.
Cool.
And then,
if we lived in New York, we would have nonstop interviews with people stopping.
Yeah,
there.
but then we'd be living in New York.
That's true.
I almost offended a bunch of New Yorkers. I almost said then we'd be assholes. But not every New Yorker's an asshole. But you know what I'm talking about. If you live in, what are you talking about?
I mean, they say that about us Philly folk too.
Oh, they do. They think we're assholes too.
Yeah. Well, you are. I'm not.
All right, here we go. Flying solo time. I asked for situational events or situations once again.
Cool.
I made the video from my backyard. Some people didn't know what that bench was. I put it on Instagram. They're like, Forrest Gump. I'm like, yeah, no.
Forrest Gump.
Not Forrest Gump. That's my bench.
That bench looks like it's about to snap in half if you sit in it.
It is. It's broken.
Is it?
It's just been
How long
broken.
has that been there for?
10 years, 12 years. My mom built it. My
Forever.
mom built it and painted it.
Yeah.
Steve Townsend. This one came in via email, and I don't normally take them that way, but this one came in. About a year ago, a new sandwich shop opened in our town. This week, before the opening, the week before they opened, they contacted me and asked about prices for my photo to display on the walls of the new store. I gave them pricing and never heard from them again. Earlier this week, a friend contacted me and said that my pics were hanging in the store.
Oh.
So I made a trip there, and sure enough, they took 3 copyrighted photos from my Facebook, cropped them to remove the copyright, and hung them on the walls. Any advice on how to legally pursue this to get paid for my
What?
work that they have stolen?
Wow.
So one, that is complete and utter bullshit.
Yeah.
2, I walk in there. Well, I would first get all your ducks in a row. Make sure you have the correspondences that you had with them saying what your prices were.
Make sure you have your shank on you.
Go into the store, video everything there, showing your work on the wall, showing the original having the originals and not the, have the original with you if you want. Show the copyright, show your Facebook, show the wall, show the photos. Stop. Take the photos off the wall. Ask for the manager first. Tell them, do you know that you guys are using my photos illegally? I am taking them off the wall right now. Take them off the freaking wall. Hand them a bill. Actually, so there's multiple ways that you can do this.
Well, they're on the internet. I thought we could print them.
Also have an invoice for 3 or 4 times as much as what you asked for originally, and say you can either pay for this now and you can keep the photos on the wall,
or say hi to my lawyer.
I will be you'll be getting a letter from my lawyer, as well as I'm taking these prints down off your wall because you are using my images illegally.
Yeah.
And that's what I would do.
I don't know if I would rip the prints down right then and there.
I would video them.
Yeah.
I just said that first.
Well, I mean, you said you would rip them down just now, didn't you?
I said take the video first, showcasing the whole scene. Take photos and video that is showing it on the wall being used.
Yeah.
Then talk to the manager, give them the invoice, tell them they owe you this money right now, which is more than what they had to pay you before because they used them illegally. And then get ready to get a letter from my lawyer if you don't agree to that. And before you leave, take them off the wall.
Yeah. I wouldn't personally rip them off. I would just tell them to take it down.
I would,
and then let my lawyer deal with everything.
I would have fun with them right now and be like, you suck.
Yeah.
Wes Jones, do you or the Stevens have any TSA horror stories? I once had an agent take the body cap off my 5D Mark II and touch the mirror, leaving a big,
That's great.
greasy fingerprint.
Nice. Awesome.
Do you have any TSA stories?
I don't think I do. I mean, mine is just every time, we always have gear in our suitcases when we check them, and they always check our suitcases, and I have that little note that says TSA, check this, blah, 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 and my stuff's like everywhere.
Your stuff always gets checked. Your check on back.
It's usually because I have the shoulder rig or something in there, metal rods, that kind of stuff. But besides it just being thrown... Besides just being thrown around the bag, there's really not anything else.
So this goes back a long time ago. I was going to Georgia. I had my N90S, the one on the door, my 80 to 200 2.8, and I had I had my camera bag that my mom bought, and it goes through the machine once, and then they go to put it through again, and they turn it upside down, and I'm like, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" I'm like, and then another time they're taking the stuff out. I'm like, "Please be careful with that." So what I would do is what I say to every TSA agent. Some know me by now, especially when we go through Philly, but I'm like, there's camera gear in here, and I say, before you take anything out, please let me know what you're going to do so I can direct you on the proper way to handle this equipment. It's professional, it's expensive, and it's susceptible to damage if you do something wrong.
Yeah.
So please, I know I'm not allowed to touch the gear.
That's why you're carrying it on.
Well, right. I know I'm not allowed to touch the gear while you're searching it.
Understandable.
But if you have any questions, please ask me what you're going to do. Tell me what you're going to do first, and I'll tell you exactly what to do with it.
Yep.
They open up lenses on occasion and look through. That's fine. But taking and looking at the mirror, no, you can't touch the mirror. I would be like, stop. What are you doing?
Oh, what's this mirror
And I'd end
lockup
up
button do?
probably getting arrested if they tried. I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah.
But that may freak them out. But I don't care. Mm-hmm. That's my gear. You don't do that.
It would definitely freak them out, though.
It would, but some of the people understand photography gear and others don't, and just it's your job, it's your equipment.
No matter what they're checking out, they should handle it with care.
They should
Whether
handle
it
it
be
with care.
A shirt or photography gear.
Right. But you need to just step up and you need to just let them know that this is camera equipment. Please handle it as if it was your own, and please ask me before you do something so I can tell you if it's okay or not.
Yep.
They don't. So they're the TSA. That's their job, but it's also your equipment. And they, don't be afraid. Like if somebody's going to start to put their finger in your camera, you can tell them something and ask for a supervisor. Mm-hmm. Steve Spalding. That's so frustrating. How would you respond to a message from a model, quote unquote, who starts off saying they love your work and is a big fan and really want to work with you? When you start off asking them what their budget is and further details of what they were wanting from their session, they respond with, "I've never paid for a photo shoot in my life."
What are they, on Model Mayhem or something?
I always responded with, "At this time, I have no TF spots available as they are booked months in advance. If a spot becomes available, then I will message you. Until then, please let me know if you would like to book a session for yourself." Well, first off, I would never respond the way that you did, to be honest. I would never tell them that at this time I have no TFP spots available. I would just be like, you contacted me to get photos taken. It means you want a service. Mm-hmm.
It's not like it was the other way around.
I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go where I was going to go. But you contacted me to get photos taken. You want these photos for a reason. I'm a photographer. I make a living getting paid. I would have responded with, "I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. You contacted me to get photos taken, so here's my pricing. That's it."
Yeah.
And that's it.
Treat you like any other normal client.
I wouldn't have said to her, "At this time, I don't have any TFP spots open." Screw that. She's assuming that you're going to do it for free. Don't assume. No, you got to pay me, woman or man, whoever the model. It could have been a man.
Yeah,
could have been a man too.
It's true.
Dean Harris. Hi, Jar Red. No, you.
Jarrod.
You still spelled
Hey,
it
Jarrod.
wrong. He spelled my name right, Jared, but then when he did JAR-RED, it's J-Red.
J-Red?
J-A-R-E-D.
Isn't it Jared?
Yeah. But I'm saying if you want to have...
Oh, he put Jar Red, didn't
Jar
he?
Red.
Oh,
That's
I
like
gotcha.
Jarhead, which my cousin used to call me to piss me off. And Stevens for Sutter.
What was that, Jarhead?
That doesn't bother me anymore. Recently, because I don't look like a jarhead anymore. Recently, I was shooting a cycling race. I wasn't asked to be there, just shooting it because I enjoy cycling.
Was it in Italy?
I put up about 20 shots on my Facebook page and shared with the cycling club. I got a huge response from the riders on the storm, who wanted to see more. Specifically of them. I spent a lot of time searching for the specific riders and processing the images as I wanted to only put out quality work. Should I respond to these requests with edited but watermarked low-res JPEGs for free and offering to supply high-res non-watermark for payment? Or should I be asking for some form of payment before providing an image? Well, first off, you weren't there getting paid. You weren't there in the hopes of, I'm going to sell these and that I'm here to make money. You went because you love cycling. They're asking because you supplied the pictures and showed them to them. In this case, I would offer them online usage of images. If they would like to purchase something after, then you can give them that option, but I would give them low-res images. You can put a watermark on there, or you could ask them to tag you in it. And you say, here, if you'd like future events taken pictures of, by all means, we could work something out. Or in this case, if you'd like to purchase any of these, you can go ahead and purchase it. But most likely, people just want it on Facebook because they're not going to print them.
Profile pic.
So that's how I would handle that. Is that
default.
fine?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Adam Dishler. My buddy and I took advantage of your Adorama Pics photo book code. Thank you. I say thank you. We put together a book of our shots of our favorite band. This past weekend, we gave every member a copy. They loved it. One member said we should sell it. First, could we even do that now, or would we want more formal approval from the band? Well, you'd want more formal approval. Second, we love the books, but I don't think there is any room to sell them at a price people would pay and make any money. Thoughts? We didn't make the book with the goal of selling them. Next page for more info. I wrote that. Thanks. Dish, thinking about making a page turn video of it like you did for your Bedia book. Well, you should definitely do a page turning book. Yeah, there is no room for selling these books. They're pretty expensive.
Well, with Adorama at least.
Well, with Adorama Pics, yes. But quality-wise, I like their quality far superior than a lot of the blurb books that are not printed as well. Now, they're still expensive when you do that. If you're going to start getting into selling photo books, you have to look into different options, which are generally going to be press prints, and it's not going to be an actual photograph like the Adorama Pics book. In terms of getting usage, or they say that you can sell it, well, have them put that in writing if that is what you want to do. But in this case, I wouldn't try to sell them.
Yeah.
Miguel Ferreira. Jared. Miguel. Miguel.
Oh, so they did the phonetic
It's probably
spelling.
Miguel.
Yeah, it is Miguel.
Yeah.
I said Miguel. But they put...
You said Miguel.
Well, M-I-hyphen-G-L. That's me...
Gla.
Migla.
Migla. Maybe that's how you say it.
I don't know. I want to know if you...
Gel. G-L.
No.
Gel.
Okay, so if you're
L.
going to phonetically
It should have been
spell...
like G-E-L.
It
If
should
you're
have
gonna
that would be
here-
gel.
No, hold on.
Damn.
But
Hold
gel.
on. If you're going to spell Miguel phonetically, it's M-E
Me.
hyphen
Gel.
G-E-L-L.
Or it would be J.
No, that'd be J.
That would be
That'd be
gel.
ja.
This is Miguel. Miguel. G-E-L-L.
Because technically, gel, the way you spell gel is
Yeah,
with a G, but
with a G.
you
But
should pronounce
phonetically,
as
it should be with the
G. Yeah, G.
Phonetically, it's M-E for me, not M-I. Not M-I.
All right, I get it.
Miguel.
That's
Because
how it should be.
spell is S-P-E-L-L, so gel is gel, G-E-L-L.
Good
I,
one.
Yeah.
There you
I was a
go.
phonetic freaking wizard. I couldn't spell, but I
Yeah.
could phonetically spell.
Interesting.
I want to know what love is. I want to know if you shoot a wedding and you put some photos on your website and the bride calls you and asks to take down the photos and don't use any of her photos in your portfolio. Thanks for the good work to the Stevens.
Get the shank.
Well, this
Pull
is
the
easy.
shank out.
Well, this is honestly easy. I've had this happen, actually. In my contract, when I shot weddings, it stated that I have the rights to use the images for advertising purposes and for promotional purposes for my work.
Yeah, I put that in every contract.
One bride contacted me and didn't want photos of her child used publicly or online.
Understandable.
They actually asked me to take down all their photos online, even though it was in my contract that I'm going to supply them the images because they were public. They wanted them to be private. I used to put them just on Flickr and everybody could see them. That was before the other options were there.
Download the full res. Check them all out.
Well, but Anyway, you don't make a big deal out of something like this. If somebody's asking you to take them down for a legitimate reason, unless you explicitly had told, it's in your contract, so it's there. Unless it's the greatest thing ever and you want to have a little fight over it, then you do. But if it's not a big deal and it's not the greatest in the world and it doesn't matter, you just say, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
But in the future, please bring this up to me or anybody about, you don't even need to mention that because it's not worth it. Some fights aren't worth having. Chris Zuments. Fro, I just completed my first team and individual photo shoot for my local football league.
Nice.
I had one parent that decided they would not be happy with any of the photos and asked for a refund. I told them I would be glad to refund the money once they sent me the photos back. That's reasonable. It has been 4 weeks and no photos. Am I still obligated to refund the money even though they have lots of time to scan the photos or get other prints made? In your opinion, what is the statute of limitations on my offer for a refund? Thank you. Well, unless you had a specific refund policy in place, there is no refund policy, which means who knows what the policy is. But when you told them that they should send you the pictures back to get their refund, you don't refund until they send your pictures back.
Yeah.
So I ran into this situation before. I was shooting a 30th or 35th high school reunion. All right, so that makes the people almost 50. So I think they were 45-ish, 46 years old. So it was probably a 30th reunion. Yeah, because if you're 18 when you graduate. Anyway, so it's probably 30th reunion.
Okay.
And it was my job to do candids of people, and it was my job. And this came from that networking group that I was involved in before I started the website.
Gotcha.
And so I was shooting it, and then they wanted a group photo, so I brought out 2 strobes to set it up. We were going to take it outside, but there was torrential downpour and hurricane force winds that blew over and broke my umbrella, but didn't break the strobe, which was nice. So we're inside setting up, and you have a group of like 70 people or 50 people. You're not going to be able to fill the top. It's more of a panoramic shot.
Yeah.
So what I did when I printed the 8x10s is I sent them. And I cropped it panoramic style and left the top black and the bottom black.
Okay.
Because if I didn't, then they'd be this small in an 8x10.
Yeah.
Because just the way that it would have worked. At least the way I set it up, it would, if I wanted to shoot it 8x10 wise, I probably should have. Okay, so here's why I didn't do what I was just saying I did to stack them. Couldn't stack them because there were no chairs and no way to. We did a chair row in the back, so I had people stand on chairs. We did a standing row, we did a kneeling row, but it still had to spread wide.
You did as much as you can.
Right, because if I was going to shoot a group shot of 50 or 60 people and you had stands, you would then line it up so that it would be awesome in an 8x10.
Yeah.
In this case, it had to be like this. So I had one complaint from somebody when I sent the photos out. People prepaid for them. They would basically, what they did is they put their name on an envelope, and that was the envelope. And when I put their check inside, so I knew what they got, and then I sent it to everybody, and this one guy complained. He called me on the phone, and he's like, what am I supposed to do with this? There's a black bar at the top and the bottom. I'm like, you do understand the situation, the reason I did this, and I explained it. He's like, I want a refund. I'm like, sure. I'll give you a refund. And you don't even have to. I didn't want him to send stuff back. Let me tell you about this guy. This was the guy that was the douchebag in high school. Flat out. Because he's now reliving. He was making fun of my hair.
Really?
He was busting my balls. And I was just standing there taking it. And they're drinking. And I'm like thinking to myself, this guy's trying to relive his high school years. He's the guy who was an asshole in high school. He so happened to also look like Billy Mays, and I almost said something like, all right, shut up, Billy Mays. But he's the guy who kept chiming in. He was being a dick. He wasn't paying attention when I was trying to take the group shots. He was disrespecting me the whole time. And I didn't say anything. These days I would say something. Then I wasn't prepared to say. I was doing a job. I was getting paid.
Yeah.
I mean, even today, if I was getting paid and somebody was disrespecting me, I think I may have told him to stop I probably stood up for myself and said, dude, stop being a dick.
I got the shank.
And
I'm ready to use it.
But anyway, so he wasn't happy, and I knew of all people who wasn't happy, it ended up being that guy because I wasn't being nice. I ended up not being nice to him. Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
because he was treating me like shit. He was bullying me. He was bully shaming me. He was shame bullying me or whatever. He was just being an asshole.
Yeah.
And you run into that. I forget what the question was. Yeah, just wait for
About
them to
the
send it.
return
If they don't
policy.
send it back, then you don't pay them.
Yeah.
That's simple. Justin Bridger. So at weddings, I choose not to eat meals. Yes, I know you don't get a lot of shots at the reception, but I'm being paid to be there. I feel if I ate, I may be distracted and miss a cute moment. This usually isn't a problem when I'm offered food. I tell them thank you, but I'm not hungry. Usually it's not a problem, but there have been some times when food and alcohol is practically shoved in my mouth. What would you do? First off, I think you're not being smart not to eat.
I mean, I get his point of view, though.
I get his point of view. You're not gonna miss anything when people are when they're sitting down and eating. I'm sorry.
Never know.
You need to. Yeah, fuck that, Steven. You have your camera ready at the table. You're giving me that snide look.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. If you don't eat, you're gonna miss more than the shot that you didn't get when people are sitting there and eating. Because if you're not fueled and able to shoot on a 12-hour day, you're gonna not be able to make that shot. What happens if you pass out in the corner?
I'm not saying don't
Here's
bring
my
food.
way that I've got. Yeah. Here's what happens. I asked to be sat in the reception hall because a lot of times they take you to another room to eat, which means you're not in the hall if something does happen. I sit there with my cameras. I don't take 2 hours to eat. I eat as quickly and responsibly as possible. But if little kids are running around at the reception, they're going to be running around and I'm going to get photos. And usually those photos aren't going to be as good as the photos that you took of the kids during the formal shots.
Miss those shots.
Shut the you're just pissing me off on purpose now. When it comes to alcohol,
Getting so bad.
because it pisses me off. You have to eat. You have to eat. You can't go 12 hours without eating. You're not going to miss anything. You're not going to miss anything. You're still there ready to shoot, but you shouldn't be just standing on the dance floor waiting for something to happen when everybody is sitting and eating. You need time to take photos. You've been working already for over probably 7 hours, 6 hours, and you may not have. When I ate, when I would eat snacks and peanut butter crackers was usually when you were driving between places and going to the reception hall, and that was when you ate. So when it became time to eat dinner, you have to eat dinner. But alcohol is a different subject. I absolutely would not drink.
Yeah.
Even if they offered to it and they tried to force it. Sorry, I'm working. No, I will not drink.
Even if it's a friend's wedding or something like that.
Friend's wedding,
Big
same
no-no.
thing. Well, yeah. I wouldn't drink at a wedding whatsoever, even if they offered it to you. No, thank you. I'm on the clock. I'm working. No matter how much they tried to push, no, thank you.
Agreed.
And just no. God, I get really upset.
I know. There's no debate with you.
Because you're not going to miss anything. You're simply
Just
not.
go to the next
You're sitting
story.
there. You have your camera with you. You're not going to miss anything.
But what if you miss something?
Then you say, fuck it, I missed it. It's not a big deal. Because from my experience shooting weddings, you don't miss anything during dinner.
There you go.
Just nothing happens.
How would you know though? If you're
Colin
eating,
Lack,
you
two
could miss
situations.
so much.
Situation one is you're in the middle of a shoot and the model has a panic attack. How do you, kind of like I just did, how do you calm them down? And situation number two, you've been friends with someone who works with you artistically for longer than they have been working with you. You happen to like them. Would you pursue a relationship or leave it be?
Ooh.
All right, we'll start with number one first. So how do you deal with somebody who has a panic attack? You tell them to you try to console them. Remember last week when we had the drunk and stoned guy?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yep.
and you yelled at him. You may not want to yell at this person like, snap out of it. Okay, she's having a panic. They're having a panic attack.
This is during like a shoot?
I
Is
guess,
that what he's saying?
how are you having a panic attack during a shoot? Yes, it's during a shoot. So if this hypothetically, theoretically did happen, I would probably walk up to them and smack them in the face.
Oh my God.
Snap out of it.
This is the client, right? Not the photographer?
I'd be like, I don't know. I'd probably go console them and be all nice.
I don't know what I would do.
But if they're having
honestly.
a panic attack, I'd be like, everything's...
Yeah.
Here we go. Hi, what's wrong?
Everything's
okay?
gonna be okay.
Everything's going to be fine as you rub their back with permission.
Yeah.
And then maybe you reach between the legs. Does this help? Just try to deflect off to something else. And so honestly, I don't know how the hell... How would you guys react to that? How do you calm down somebody? I mean, I know how to calm people down. And I also know how to piss them off. And so do you.
But a panic attack's tough. I mean, I don't know
They're
what
having a panic attack. I'd probably lay them down on the ground, lay next to them.
I'd probably Google it.
Wait, hold on. If they're having a panic
follow
attack
those instructions.
and they're sitting on a stool, I would lay them down on the ground in the grass, stroke their head while spooning them, and then be like, "Are you calm now?" As I use my HD2 filter that is 4 times harder than anything else.
Oh my God.
Section number 2 and a situation number 2, you've been friends with someone who works with you artistically for longer than they have been working with you. You happen to like them. Would you pursue a relationship or leave it be?
Did you say this person's name?
Colin Lack. It could go either way.
Hopefully the girl is not watching because she probably clearly knows it's her.
Sutter, how would you react to this situation?
That's tough, man.
It's tough.
It's not tough. This is easy. You got to go for it. Love doesn't wait for anybody. Hey, if you're in love, you just got to tell them.
Yeah,
you're
but
in
it's
love.
like, but at the same time, if you work with them
I don't care.
and you completely
I don't care.
destroy that relationship,
I don't care.
okay.
If you got that, if you have those butterflies in your chest, wherever butterflies happen, stomach. I was holding my heart. Butterflies happen down below the waist. Usually,
Ew.
it's just like you got to tell them. You got to be like, I think I love you.
Damn, you're fine.
Can I get your number?
You on fleek? No, but I mean, I would somehow gravitate the balls and just ask.
I mean, if you're always gonna feel like this way,
You got to go for it.
Hey, girls.
And if it's-
nothing else. Unless you can live with the fact that
No, you can't.
You're
You
never
have
gonna
to.
have 'em.
You have to tell them. And this is what I would do. I'd walk up to them, sit them down in the grass, pet their hair, and spoon them. The same thing I would do. No, I wouldn't. I would get them one-on-one, and I'd be like, I'd like to take you out.
Wait,
Take
one on
me
one or 1-to-1?
What'd I say?
1-on-1?
That's the same thing as one-to-one.
Uh,
I would basically say, hey, we've been working together a long time. Would you like to go out for dinner or a drink, non-work related?
ooh.
And just see what the answer would be. You have to try. Would you not do that?
I'm just thinking of that song. What is it? Girl, you got what I need, and you say he's just a friend.
No, first of all, you say he's just a friend.
You say he's just a friend.
It's like, oh baby, you got what I need. But you say he's just a friend. But you say, oh baby, you.
I wonder though if there's any clues going around at how she feels about him.
Or
if it's
he.
the same.
It could be she or he. It could
thought
be
you
a
said
guy or
Colin.
yes, but that
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
mean that he's
that's
not
true.
interested in a guy.
Of course, yeah.
Equal opportunity.
I'm not saying.
It could go either way.
I know.
What are you trying to say?
Shut up.
It goes both ways. Well, it does.
Yeah.
Colton Derek Cunningham. A customer said they loved my work and wanted me to take their son's senior pictures. So I obliged, got paid, gave them the pictures, and then they asked, why is the background so blurry? At first, I didn't even know how to respond because it's like a question that I've never asked. I've never been asked, I guess. And then said, because it gives more focus on the subject. Not a bad answer. She then said, but you can't even see the woods or anything like behind him. I'd like to change this quote and say, but you can't even see nothing behind him like the woods or anything. That's my southern talk. At that point, I just didn't even know what to say. I ended up redoing a few pictures for her, but I'm not sure if I
really?
could have told her a better way with the why the background was blurry. Thanks for answering the
She
question.
must really like the woods.
I honestly,
Did you like your son or the woods?
I think you answered it mostly the right way. I think you did a good job there.
Yeah, I think so,
And
too.
I if you're going to explain it to somebody, you'd be like, oh yeah, the background's blurry. That creates basically that draws the focus to your son, who so happens to be the subject, who so happens to be your son here. The reason we do that is because the background can become distracting. I wouldn't honestly go. I mean, I don't know that I would go reshoot it that way because that your artistic photo sense is to blow the background out. Now, if the subject had something to do with the background,
Well, exactly.
then in that case
It's like
you
a
do.
major landmark or something too, or
Right.
whatever.
But in this case, it's just like you can educate as much as you can, but that's about it. Matthew Wade. So I was recently asked to donate my time to photograph at a charity event. I was told that I was the staff photographer for the evening. At the entrance to the venue, there was a red carpet with a step and repeat wall to do photos of the guests as they walked in.
Yes, the
In
best.
addition to myself, there were 3 other press photographers, quote unquote, present.
Present.
All with consumer bodies and kit lenses shooting in auto. Do you know that by asking them? Being that it was a relatively small step and repeat, the other photographers started to crowd around me and get into a lot of my shots. Presented with this situation, how would you get these guys out of your way and out of your shot? Thanks for all of the awesome content. Keep up the good work. Matthew Mayathu. That's his phonetic spelling. Yeah, so you're the official photographer for this event. In the future, here's one of the things that you can do is you tell the people at the event that there needs to be a separate press area away from where you are. Actually, what I probably would have done is created a velvet rope myself where I'm in front and they're behind me. Because that's what the official press photographers do on the red carpet. But no, they actually have press area for them to shoot, and then the other photographer has their spot usually before. So in this case, I would have my area right in front of the step and repeat for me, and then behind you is the rope that the other photographers have to stay. But if that didn't happen in this case, I would have made it happen myself. I would have said, guys, you're starting to encroach in my photos. I understand you need to get press shots, but I am hired by this event to get these photos, so please stay out of my way.
I ran into this every time at the radio station. We would have probably 4 or 5 press photographers come in for these intimate studio sessions that we did. Basically, I would either shoot them first. As far as the artist goes, I would get that out of the way and then let them come in and do their whole swarming of pictures. Or I would do the opposite and let all the photographers take all their pictures first and then get a one-on-one with the artist at the end for as long as I wanted, pretty much. It depends how much time I had with the artist. But yeah, typically, plus they all knew me. Also, the press photographers, they know I'm the guy in charge. I'm running the show.
Give me the peace sign and jump.
So I usually am pretty good with that.
All right. Ryan Murray. So I was taking photos of a couple proposing on a boat one day, and I was under the impression
On a boat?
Boats and hoes. And I was under the impression
fast.
the guy was going to pay me, but he came up to me and says, "When can you have these to me?" I told him I will send them an invoice, then the photos. But he said that the captain of the boat said they were free. I go and ask the captain, and he says he did because it would be a good portfolio builder. I ended up giving them to the person for free. Was that the right thing to do? Well, first off, the first thing you used the word assume here. You can never assume anything at all, because when you assume things generally don't happen the way you want them to happen, because you can't assume somebody knows the rules. That's like in hockey. Just because you headbutt the puck into the net and you think it's a goal, because you assume you can do that, doesn't mean you can actually do that. It's like breaking the law. Well, if you don't know the law, doesn't mean you could, I assume I wasn't breaking the law. But anyway, one, I would have punched Captain Ron in the face for telling them that it'd be a good portfolio builder and telling them, yes, you did the right thing by giving them the photos because they were told by the boat's captain that they'd be free. So I would either charge Captain Ron or be like, dude, what are you talking about? But you can't assume. It all comes back to assuming. If you didn't discuss beforehand what was going to happen, then you have no recourse. You basically are SOL. Yeah?
Yeah. Have fun driving the boat now.
Would you just shank him?
Yeah.
Brian Zalewski. Zalewski. He spelled his phonetically Zahelef ski. Zalewski. No, Zalewski. I guess he wants it Zalewski.
Zalewski.
When you're out and no longer in Frono's photo mode, when you are less amped up as you are for the camera, let's say at a restaurant, store, or bar, how do you handle those that expect you to be in character? Not that they are meaning to be rude. Do you jump into Jared or I should say Fro? Do you jump into Fro in front of camera mode in front of cam mode, or do you maintain your current vibe? Steven, answer that.
I think you maintain your current vibe 99% of the time. You're typically just, like your everyday person, just going about your business and, hey, what's up? Thanks for watching, blah, blah. You're not like, hey, Jared Poland, blah, blah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're not like all of a sudden
amazing.
switching characters, but I think you're just your normal self.
Right. There's the only times I get animated, and you would see the similarities between me on camera and me off camera would be when I get really amped up about a subject.
That is true.
That's when I start to really
when you get
emote.
into like a debate or something, it's exactly like this. You
Well,
get
that's
into
right.
that mode.
But if
you're
run
very
into-
passionate about what you talk about,
Right, but
depending on the topic, obviously.
if I'm out and about, it's just I'm me. But it
Yeah.
also depends on my mood. Sometimes I'm up, and it depends who I'm with. If it's with a bunch of friends, then maybe I'm coming out a little more as the guy in front of the camera. But no, I mean, usually it's just whatever.
You're always very appreciative, though. And
that's-
you typically
yeah.
will give like the business card. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking it out.
Well,
blah,
that's
blah,
if
blah.
run into people, but no,
depends, yeah.
But and I think it's taken people off guard too. People that see me on camera that have never met me in person,
Yeah.
they come up and they're like, "Well, oh my God, he's not drinking and he's not partying. I thought he'd be a party animal, and
Well,
I'm just sitting there by the side."
It's like for me when I would meet like my favorite bands at the station, I would I felt like I knew them because of the music and watching interviews,
Right.
and then I would meet them in person, and they could just be having a bad day, and they
Right.
they were a dick that day, but then the next time I see them, they're super nice. It all just everyone's human.
Well, but what I think one more they're saying is, do I act out like that? So,
Oh, yeah.
Generally, it's just no. If you just run into me on the street, I'm not going to be in fro mode.
Yeah.
Unless I'm making a video, and then if you're interrupting me while I'm making a video, you're going to see angry fro mode.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What?
I'm just thinking of
The Vegas thing?
upcoming 5-minute portrait.
Yeah.
Someone interrupted you there, and you weren't very happy.
Last question, Sutter. Get ready for the wheel and gear of the week. Miguel Martinez, please. Miguel Martinez.
Miguel?
No, Miguel. Hi, Jared. I'm a high school student. My school principal has asked me to shoot a basketball game for the school, but they never offer to pay me. I asked to be paid for the next time and my work, but he said that the school didn't have the budget. How will you handle this situation, Miguel? He spelled it M space IH hyphen GEL.
I mean, I could see that.
Miguel. It's close.
I could see MIH.
First off, you're a high school student. You shouldn't be asking to get paid by the school that you're going to in this situation. You need the experience at this time to learn if you're shooting for the school yearbook. You're not going to
point.
get paid for that stuff. You're just not. I think I'm not saying because you're a high school student you shouldn't get paid, but this isn't this is a you go to that school. You're learning. You may be in class there. They are going to get work from you for nothing because you shouldn't be asking to get paid for that. I just think that's one of those things. You don't ask to get paid for that. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense, yeah. But you're right. I mean, high school is also the time where to really utilize everything around you. And if you're not getting paid, you're not getting paid.
Gear of the week.
Ooh, what is that?
Gear of the week.
Gear?
This is a 5DSR. This is a 5DSR. This is Canon's new camera that doesn't come out till what, the 28th or 27th?
28th, I believe.
We've had it for a couple days, and I will tell you the coolest thing about it is that I can already take the RAW files and put them right into Lightroom.
Yeah, that's
the
a
camera
first.
isn't even out yet, but Lightroom opens the DNG files. Nikon usually you usually have to wait like a month
yeah.
to use that stuff. We asked Canon for a bunch of stuff to go on this trip to the Grand Canyon that we're doing.
They hooked us up.
They did, and a part of that was the networking that we did at NAB because we.
All of that,
and you know I hate going to events.
Yep.
But it actually stems all the way back to the CES event. By doing the thing at the CES event where I went to Canon's booth and made pretend I was
on the Titanic.
Yeah. Just randomly in their booth, that caught the attention of the vice president of Canon USA. So then when we're at NAB walking through the booth going, what the hell are we going to do with this huge booth? How do we get our hands on anything? I get stopped by
Him.
Elliot,
Yeah.
who's the vice president of Canon USA. And he's like, I loved what you did at CES and doing all this stuff. He's like, what do you need from me? And as soon as he said that, we said we need X, Y, and Z to do stuff in the booth.
Yep.
And we ended up with all the suits coming in and hooking us up with everything that we needed, thanks to Elliot. So, Elliot, phone home. What?
Is that ET?
That's ET. Did you know that M&M's turned down? You know how he
Turned down for what?
Dun, 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 dun. That's my theme song. No, they wanted to use M&M's. E.T. wanted to.
I thought you meant
the M&Ms.
Eminem the rapper. I was like, what?
No, to turn down to eat the M&Ms, and that's when Reese's Pieces stepped up and said you can use our Reese's Pieces.
I personally think are so much better.
I've never had
anyway.
Reese's Pieces.
What?
I don't
What?
like that.
Oh, dude,
But
so good.
I liked M&Ms, but that's how they and their share of the market shot up after that movie because it was in the
Huge.
movie.
Yeah.
And the M&Ms people were like, no, you can't use them, which is stupid.
Bad move.
But anyway, after we finished NAB, Elliot helped us get in touch with the right people because we said we've got this trip coming up. We're looking for some equipment. Can we get a C300 Mark IIs? They didn't have those, but
That would've been
C300
nice.
Mark Is are perfectly
Oh,
fine for what we're doing. And I said it would be great to get our hands on a 5D SR because this is a huge megapixel camera that's meant to really capture nice dynamic range and great details. And that's what we'll be out there shooting. Well, they hooked us up with that.
Yeah, they
and
did.
so that's a big thank you to Canon for hooking us up with this stuff, especially getting this camera that says sample. This is number 21, I think.
That's awesome.
Because the serial number it ends in 21, which is the serial number. This is number 21, the 21st camera off the line. And we're going to take it out there and we're going to use it. So
I'm excited.
I'm excited to use it. This camera we've discovered is extremely silent.
Yes.
Not even in silent mode. It's
the
basically
shutter is just so much
silent.
more suppressed than the normal 5D. Like it almost sounds.
You ready?
Yeah. It sounds like it's a silent shutter mode in the 5D Mark III.
So what's it sound like in the silent
Actually,
mode?
have we tried that?
I don't know. Where is silent mode?
Top
Let me see.
button.
Drive?
Yeah.
And
And then you can pick
wheel
like
over
continuous
to the S.
high speed, low speed, and then there's one with an
Yeah.
S.
S
Yeah,
single.
here's silent. Let's see. Let me turn this on now.
Oh wow.
It sounded exactly the
It
same.
did sound the same. Yeah. Maybe a little less of a
It's in
kerplunk,
silent,
but
yeah. So basically, this is a very quiet camera.
yeah, it is. I was really surprised.
So
because they
anyway-
didn't really say anything about that in the promotion for this camera.
50.6 megapixels. We're looking forward to using it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
now it's time to. It's spinning the wheel time, right?
Yeah, let's do
because
it.
that's gear of the week.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Do you have someone?
Well, why don't I pick a name later?
Okay.
As
We've been
always.
doing that anyway.
Well,
so.
I had this guy, Wes Jones, because the TSA guy put a smudge on his thing.
yeah, that was a
I
good
wanted
one.
to do that
There was
one.
a lot of good ones.
There were a lot of good, but I'm going to do Wes Jones.
Cool.
Wes Jones, Mike
Yo.
Jones. So here we go. We've got the Wheel of Fro. We've got Squarespace up there. Go to squarespace.com/squarespace.com/fro to get your 14-day free trial. No credit card needed. You will like it. I use it for my jaredpoland.com. Sign
will
up for,
like it.
I think once you use it, you'll see that you will sign up for a year. If you sign up for a year, it's about $8 a month, and you get a free domain for that first year, which is another $12.99. So you're saving that much money at the very beginning when you sign up for a year. I think you're going to use it, like it. Please use my code. It helps me and it helps you. Black Rapids strap if it lands on that. Rode microphone, which I believe it landed on last week.
Yes.
You get something Rode will send you from Australia. Then we've got the Atomos Ninja 2. We've talked about that a lot. If it lands in that spot, you are winning a $695 thing. It's not going to be the bare bones for $395.
The
It will be
Ninja
the
2.
I said Ninja 2.
Oh, you said a thing, didn't you?
No.
Oh,
Ninja
okay.
2. Adorama Picks. Go to you can get free credit. Frono's Photo. You get a Fro prize. Think Tank. You get some Think Tank bags. A Think Tank bag. Audioblocks.com/go/fro. They bring us the sound effects that we use in this show, as well as the
lovely
background
sound
music.
effects.
Squarespace again. Lightroom, if it lands on that, you're going to get something from the Creative Cloud for a year. That's like $10 a month, so that's $120.
Photography bundle.
Yep. Rode microphone again. ? Anything on the wheel but the main prize. Borrow lenses, $250 in credit. Fro again. Plasticprinters.com. Videoblocks.com/go/fro. Send back to Squarespace, and it's time to spin the wheel. All right, we're going to spin the wheel, Sutter.
Oh yeah? Are you gonna spin it?
Yeah, I think we're going to spin it the other way, though.
Have you ever done it the other way?
Weird.
You're freaking me out, bro.
This is startling.
Hey, what's up? Oh, hey. How you doing?
Oh.
Hey.
Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. The Wheel of Fro is going the wrong way. The wrong
weird.
way. It's going back in time. Uh-oh.
Maybe it'll
this
actually
is going to be close
land
to
on-
Atomos. No, it's short.
Oh.
Squarespace. Congratulations to Wes Jones, not Mike Jones. You have won yourself a free year of Squarespace Professional, valued at like $180 or something like that.
Dollars, yes.
And in Canada, it's $199.
Oh, yep.
I don't know what the price is in Canada. So that's the Wheel of Fro, and that is what we have for this week's show. Next week, remember, It may be a couple days late.
Yep.
Because we are out in the boonies.
Out and about.
Making content. And I think instead of skipping a week, it will just be late because I don't like skipping weeks.
That's
and you
fine.
guys need some ear juice for your ears. No, you need some eargasms for your ears.
Ear
Hey,
juice.
can we get some eargasm sound?
Okay.
Right now. You ready? And that's an eargasm sound brought to you by audioblocks.com/go/fro. So you can find all the photo news stories and more at fronosphoto.com/rawtalk-134. Thank you guys very much for listening and watching. And don't forget to please subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you haven't listened to all of the podcasts or Raw Talks, you may want to go check out some of the old ones. Listen to a new one as it comes out. They come out every Monday, except for the weeks that they don't, obviously. And you can go back and listen to the old ones. I suggest if you're just starting now, start catching up on the old ones.
And the old ones are a little shorter too, so you can probably catch up on them pretty fast.
Anyway, we're at about an hour and a half, hopefully.
Yep.
All right, good. Because then we're going to wrap this up. Thank you, guys. I'll see you soon for lunch.
Yep.
Sutter. Yeah. That's it. Jared Poland, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.